on her way.
All right.
Thank you. Please be seated. Yeah, I did him. I just did him like a couple minutes ago. Thanks.
Hi, this is the court interpreter. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Madam Interpreter. Just give me one moment.
Oh, for the advisement, it will be simultaneous mode, right? Since there's only one person.
It should be two. There are two.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar on December 14th, 2025.
Bueno, damas y caballeros, muchas gracias por su paciencia. Esa es la comparecencia inicial de las 2 de la tarde para el 14 de diciembre del 2025.
Before we get started, I have two notices to read. First, if you are the victim of a crime, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that includes a right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity.
Bueno, antes de empezar, quiero darle dos informes. El primero es el informe a las víctimas. Si usted es víctima de un delito, ustedes tienen garantías bajo la ley del estado de Arizona, la cual incluye que se le trate con justicia, respeto y dignidad.
The right to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether to be interviewed by the defense, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, and scheduling.
Que tienen derecho a que se celebre un juicio rápido, a la presencia, su presencia en comparecencias judiciales, de escoger si quiere ser entrevistado por medio del acusado y de que se le conozca antes de la puesta en libertad, en negociaciones de un convenio resolutorio y la agenda judicial.
And the right to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not been provided with a written statement of these rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office.
También el derecho al resarcimiento por medio de la persona que fue hallada culpable de su pérdida. Si no se le ha proporcionado este informe por escrito, por favor comuníquese con el Departamento de Servicios a la Víctima de la Oficina de la Fiscalía.
Additionally, the court notes that the orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month remain in effect.
También se hace reconocimiento de oficio de que las órdenes judiciales de las huellas dactilares y pruebas de ADN que se hicieron el 1 de este mes corresponden para todas las audiencias.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to try to be efficient. To do that, I'm going to call each of you individually into the courtroom for your initial appearance.
Damas y caballeros, voy a intentar hacerlo de la manera más eficaz posible. Voy a convocar a cada uno para que pase uno a uno para su comparecencia inicial.
When you hear your name, please just come to the podium in the courtroom, and please note that I'm going to call the second person in line and ask that they sit on the chair directly to the left of the doorway.
Una vez que escuchen su nombre, por favor, pasen hacia la sala del tribunal. La segunda persona que se convoque, por favor, tome asiento en la silla que se encuentra directamente a la izquierda donde se encuentra la puerta.
During your hearing, I will advise you of the nature of the matter that you're being seen on, whether the court is appointing you an attorney, whether you are eligible for release, and what your next court dates will be.
Una vez que se empiece su audiencia, le voy a informar sobre el carácter de las imputaciones, si se le ha nombrado un abogado de oficio, cuáles serían sus medidas cautelares y sus audiencias posteriores.
Please note that I will go over some of the release conditions with you in court, but it is likely that I will not verbally go over all of the release conditions. So it's important to read your release paperwork, understand all of the release terms, and abide by all of them.
Por favor, tengan en cuenta que en tribunal en pleno voy a repasar algunas de sus medidas cautelares, varias de ellas que no se las voy a señalar verbalmente, se encuentran en su documentación. Es importante que ustedes lean su documentación de sus medidas cautelares y que entiendan las disposiciones para que cumplan con el mismo.
So with that, we will start the calendar. May I please have Jose Lopez Acosta in the courtroom and Wilver Ramirez to the chair, please. Sir, may I have your name and date of birth?
My name is Jose Alfredo Lopez Acosta, and my birthday,
Sir, I'm gonna stop you.
July 6, 66.
Sir, do you need an interpreter for today?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to listen to the question interpreted through the interpreter before you answer, and then please answer in Spanish. That will be interpreted back to me, okay? All right, so let's start over. What is your name and date of birth?
Jose Alfredo Lopez Acosta, and my birthday is July 6, 66.
José Alfredo López Acosta.
Mi nombre es José Alfredo López Acosta y mi fecha de nacimiento es julio 6 del 66.
My name is José Alfredo López Acosta. My date of birth is July 6, 1966.
Okay. So I have you here on one matter. It does involve an allegation of a new charge for aggravated driving under the influence, a Class 4 felony.
Okay.
The court has found probable cause So, Madam Interpreter, are you, just give me 1 minute. So, is she interpreting through the headset?
Yeah, she's
Okay. Okay.
just a little.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the court has found probable cause for that allegation and has appointed you All right, the court has found probable cause for that allegation. Okay. Based on the financial affidavit that you submitted today, the court has determined that you do not qualify at this time for indigent representation. So today the court is not appointing you an attorney. You are certainly free to hire an attorney of your own. And you may also revisit this information if you think that you should qualify at your next court hearing. Your next hearings are a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following conditions. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $7,500. If you do post that bond and are released, you'll be released to the supervision of pretrial services with alcohol testing and monitoring. A very important term of your release is that you're ordered not to operate any motor vehicles at any time. There are a number of other release terms. Again, those are clearly stated in your paperwork, so please make sure to read that. And so that concludes your hearing. You can step to your left and get your paperwork, which will state everything that the court has ordered. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank
May I
you.
have Wilbur Ramirez in the courtroom, please? And Shazmeen Owasi to the chair, please. All right, sir, could I have your name and date of birth?
Yeah. Wilber Alberto Ramírez Rodríguez, 14 de septiembre de 1992.
Alberto Wilmer Ramirez Rodriguez, September 14, 1992.
Thank you. Sir, you are here on one matter. That matter includes 2 allegations of new offenses, 1 count of aggravated DUI, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of unlawful flight from law enforcement, a Class 5 felony. The court has found probable cause as to both of these allegations and has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following release terms. The court is imposing a $15,000 secured appearance bond. If you are released, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services with alcohol and drug testing and monitoring. You are ordered not to operate any motor vehicle at any time. And the remainder of your release terms are written on the order. That concludes your hearing, sir. You may step to your left and get your paperwork. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Shazmin Wazi, please, in the courtroom, and Jonna Cummings.
Your Honor, would you like the interpreter to do a general call?
That would be great, thank you.
¿Alguien más en la sala necesita los servicios de interpretación judicial en español?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter. We will excuse you at this time.
Thank you. The interpreter will be disconnecting. Thank you.
Okay. And Jonna Cummings, just make sure that you are in the chair to the left of the door. All right, ma'am, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, my name is Shazmin Wasi and my date of birth is 11/11/85.
Okay. I have you here on one matter. That matter includes allegations of 2 new offenses. They are both assaults. Both are Class 3 misdemeanors. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations and has appointed you an attorney to represent you. Your next hearing is an arraignment hearing, and that's going to be on December 23rd at 8 a.m. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. You may not possess any weapons. You may not reside at the same location as any alleged victim or witness, even if you are an owner or a renter of the residence. If you and the victim live together, you're going to have to find another place to live, okay, at least pending your next court date. The court will authorize 1 civil standby with a law enforcement officer so that you can collect your personal belongings, all right? Other release conditions include not to go back to the residence that is the scene of the alleged crime. Again, no contact with any of the victims or any of the potential witnesses, no weapons, no drugs, and no driving without a license, right?
What's an arraignment hearing?
An arraignment, it's just your first hearing. The state will determine whether or not they are formally going to file these allegations,
Okay.
and you'll be advised of the status of that at your arraignment hearing.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
By that date, if the people who accuse me decide to drop the charges, then the case goes away?
Not necessarily, ma'am. Okay. And that's a decision that will be made by the prosecutor's office.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. All right. That concludes the hearing. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. May I please have Jonna Cummings in the courtroom and Kiosha McConnell to the chair, please. May I have your name and date of birth?
Jonna Cummings, 5/9/82.
All right. I have you here on one matter. That matter includes allegations of 2 new offenses, 1 allegation of assault, and 1 count of disorderly conduct. Both are misdemeanors. The court has found probable cause as to both of these allegations. The court has reviewed your financial affidavit based on the information that you submitted. I cannot find today that you are eligible for a court-appointed attorney. So the court is not appointing one at this point. You are free to hire one on your own. You're also free to revisit that issue at your next court hearing. All right? You are eligible for release. Your next hearing is an arraignment hearing on December 18th at 8:30 a.m. Your release conditions include the following. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. The court is ordering that you have no contact with the alleged victims and that you not return to the scene of the alleged crime. That means even if you are an owner or renter and that is your primary residence, you may not return, except for the court will authorize one civil standby to be conducted by a law enforcement officer for you to retrieve any personal belongings that you need. All right? No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and no driving without a valid driver's license. All of these release terms will be on your paperwork, as will be that December 18th arraignment hearing. Okay, that concludes your hearing. Thank you. Kiosha McConnell, please, and Dakota Mathis to the chair.
Hi.
Hello. May I have your name and date of birth?
Kiosha McConnell, July 2nd, 1993.
Thank
I would
you.
just like to say, I don't know if it's going to help me, but I was hit first, so I was defending myself, so I just want that to be known.
Okay. Let me just get through what we have to get through,
No
and if
problem.
you have any questions at the end,
Okay.
I'll give you some time, okay? All right, so you're here on one matter. That matter includes 2 allegations of new offenses. One is a allegation of aggravated assault as a Class 3 felony.
The what?
An aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument or a deadly weapon. That is a Class 3 felony, 1 count of assault as a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations and has appointed you an attorney.
Okay.
Your next hearing is a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m.
Okay, no problem.
You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms.
Okay.
The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. If you post that bond and are released, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services with drug testing and monitoring.
Okay.
You will also be released with electronic monitoring equipment that will be installed before your release, and a curfew that will be decided by pretrial services.
Okay.
Other terms of release include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims or any witnesses, no weapons, no drugs. All of that is written down. And again, like I've told everyone, make sure that you review the full list of your release terms. Okay? All right. Thank you.
You have a good one.
Thank you. All right. Dakota Mathis, please. And after Dakota Mathis will be Maria Coronado Boy. All right. Sir, may I have your name and date of birth?
Dakota Dean Mathis, January 19th, 1992.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have you here on one matter. It's an allegation of a new offense. The allegation is for 1 count of aggravated assault as a Class 2 felony. The court has found probable cause as to this allegation and is appointing you an attorney. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and your preliminary hearing is on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $20,000. If you post that bond and are released from custody, you will be released with electronic monitoring equipment to pretrial services, right? There will be a curfew, and that curfew will be determined by pretrial services. Additional terms of your release include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with the alleged victim or any witnesses, no weapons, no drugs, no driving without a valid driver's license, all of these terms are written down. Make sure you go through the complete list, okay? That concludes your hearing, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Maria Coronado Boy. And after Ms. Coronado Boy, we will have Joel Johnson. Thank you. May I have your name and date of birth?
Maria Coronado Boy, 08/29/99.
Thank you. All right, I have you here on 3 matters, okay? I'm going to go through them individually. The first is a matter involving allegations of new offenses. All right, they include disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and refusing to give your true name to law enforcement, obstructing an investigation, also a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to those allegations and has appointed you an attorney. You have an arraignment hearing on December 23rd at 1:30 p.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following conditions. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $5,000. Other release conditions include you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. If that is your place of residence, the court will authorize a one-time civil standby to be conducted by law enforcement for you to retrieve any of your personal belongings. No contact with any of the alleged victim or victims, nor any witnesses, no weapons, no drugs, and no driving without a valid license. Your second matter is a probation violation warrant that was issued in the criminal case CR 2025-000-457. That is the criminal case in which you have an underlying conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. Probation is alleging that you have violated terms 3 and 4 of that probation. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a probation revocation arraignment hearing and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release in this probation violation case with the following conditions. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. Other terms of release include no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your third matter is another probation violation warrant. This is in CR 2022-104-239. The conviction in this case is also possession of drug paraphernalia. Probation is alleging that you have violated terms 3 and 4 of your probation in that matter. The court is appointing you an attorney and is scheduling a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing for December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release on this matter. The court is imposing the following terms. Those terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license. You must contact your probation within 72 hours, right? So, you know that I've just gone through a lot of information, but on your written order, which the deputy has to your left, it will state the release terms for each of the 3 matters and the court dates for each of the 3 matters. So I encourage you to just really look that over and make sure that you understand each one, okay? Mm-hmm. All right. your hearing is concluded, so you can get your paperwork from the officer. Thank you.
We will have your paperwork in a little bit.
Jill Johnson, please. And then Landon Abates, you will be next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Yes, Joel Scott Johnson, 3/8/1968.
Thank you. So I have you here on one matter. It is an allegation of a new offense. That offense is aggravated assault against a first responder or police officer. That's a Class 4 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that allegation. I have reviewed your financial affidavit and have made a determination that you are not eligible for court-appointed counsel based on your income. You are certainly free to hire an attorney or to revisit the issue of a court-appointed attorney at your next hearing. Your next hearing will be a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. Both of those will be downtown. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following conditions. The court is releasing you on your own recognizance with orders not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, witnesses, or officers, no weapons, no drugs or alcohol, and no driving without a valid driver's license. All of the terms, a complete list of all of the terms are on your paperwork along with those court dates and the courthouse location. Okay? And that's it, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Let's just fix that up here. Thanks. All right. Okay. May I have Landon Abate, please? And then Daryl Bowling will be next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
It's Landon Abadi, 10/25/05.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry for mispronouncing your name.
That's okay.
So I have you here on one matter. It is allegations of new offenses. These allegations include aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, a Class 2 felony, criminal damage as a Class 1 misdemeanor, disorderly conduct as a Class 1 misdemeanor, and preventing a victim from using a phone in an emergency, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to each of those allegations. The court has reviewed your financial affidavit and has determined that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I am appointing one for you. Your next hearings are a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release in this matter. The court is going to impose the following conditions. The court has, in imposing these conditions, taken into account all of the information that the court has before it at this time, including the victim's rights statement. Given everything that that the court has, the court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $10,000. Right? If you are able to post that bond and are released, you will be released to, give me just one second. I had to edit this one, I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit, okay? So if you are able to post that bond, that $10,000 bond, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services with drug and alcohol testing and monitoring, okay? Now you do have several very important release terms. For now, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, okay? I understand that that may be your residence. Nonetheless, there is a court order that you not return to that home, except the court is authorizing a one-time civil standby to be completed by law enforcement that would permit you to go to the home and collect your belongings. Additionally, the court is ordering that you not have any contact with the alleged victim, witnesses, or any arresting officers. The court is also ordering that you not possess any weapons, that you not possess any drugs, not possess or consume any alcohol, or drive without a valid driver's license. Okay? All of those terms are going to be written down and very clearly go through the entire list. Make sure that you abide by all of those terms, right? And so that concludes your hearing, so you may step to your left and get your paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Great. Daryl Bowling, please. And then Solomon Barrera Montanez will be next. May I have your name and date of birth?
Daryl Bowling, September 14th, 1980.
Thank you, sir. You're here on one matter. That matter includes allegations of new offenses. Those include one count of driving under the influence of a Class 1 misdemeanor, as well as 2 counts of aggravated driving under the influence. Both of those are Class 4 felonies. 1 count of reckless driving is a Class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of driving on a suspended license, a Class 1 misdemeanor. 1 count of failure to stay at the scene of an accident, a Class 1 misdemeanor. And 1 count of tampering evidence during an investigation is a Class 6 felony. In total, 7 allegations. The court has found probable cause for all of those allegations and has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. downtown. You're eligible for release. Some of the release conditions include the court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $7,500. If you post that bond and are released from custody, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to go over some of the other release conditions with you. Those are no contact with any alleged victim, witnesses or arresting officers, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a license. And sir, even if you have a license, the court is ordering you that you are not to operate any motor vehicle at any time, regardless of whether you have a valid license at this point. Okay? So all of those are written down for you. So that concludes your hearing. You may step to your left.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Solomon Barrera Montanez, and then Sean Tolino will be next.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. May I have your name and date of birth?
Salomon Barrera Montañez Jr., September 11th, 2004.
Thank you. So I have you here on 2 matters, okay? So the first is a matter involving allegations of new offenses. There are 12 allegations in total. They include 3 counts of possession of dangerous drugs for sale, 3 counts of possession of dangerous drugs and transporting those for sale, 1 count of possession of marijuana for sale, 1 count of possession and transportation of marijuana for sale, 1 count of aggravated DUI, and 3 counts of possession of dangerous drugs. Okay, so the court is finding probable cause as to the aggravated DUI allegation only. All right, so the probable cause for your release terms today is on that aggravated DUI allegation that is a Class 4 felony. Based on the information the limited information that this court has today, I did not find probable cause on the remaining of the allegations, but you have to understand that those could be charged. It's just right now.
Okay.
Okay. Right now, I did not find probable cause with the information submitted thus far. Okay. The court is appointing you an attorney, and you have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
You are eligible for release. Some of the release terms include the following. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000.
Would that be 10% or just 15,000 flat?
I believe that it's 20%, and there's a list of bonds companies that you could potentially work with, and that list should be in the back.
If my family were to come bring 15,000 to the office, that wouldn't work?
I don't know exactly the logistics of how people pay their bonds,
okay,
but they'll be able to tell you, okay? So if you do post your bond, then you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services with alcohol and drug testing.
Okay.
Okay, so some of your release conditions also include the following. You are ordered not to operate any motor vehicle at any time, even if you currently have a valid license.
Okay.
No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. The remainder of the release conditions are on the written order.
Correct.
You're here on a second matter. That's a probation violation matter, probation violation warrant in criminal case CR 2024-136185.
Is there a possible bond for that?
Just give me 1 second.
No, you're fine. I apologize for rushing.
All right, so your probation in this matter has been violated with there's an allegation of a Term 1 violation as to this probation case. A Term 1 violation is, simply occurs or is alleged anytime there is a new offense committed while on probation. So Term 1 says no new offenses, okay? So based on the offenses that we just previously went over,
correct,
that is the Term 1 allegation for this underlying criminal court conviction, okay? You are eligible for release. The court is going to appoint an attorney to represent you, and you have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing both on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. In this second matter, the probation matter, some of the release terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
20% as well?
I believe,
or
yes.
1,000 cash?
Mm-hmm. No, it's a secured appearance bond, okay? It's not a cash bond, it's a secured appearance bond, all right?
Okay, so then, okay.
Okay, thank you. All of that will be written down.
Okay.
You can get your paperwork.
I appreciate you.
Sean Pelino, please, and Oliver Bizamana will be next. May I have your name and date of birth?
Sean Salino, 8/27/87.
Thank you. You're here on one matter that involves allegations of two new offenses. Both allegations are aggravated DUI. Both are Class 4 felonies. The court did find probable cause as to both of those allegations and is appointing you an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. Some of your release terms, and I'm sorry, let me just back up. These are not allegations of new offenses. I apologize. So this is a warrant that issued when the county attorney's office filed a direct complaint alleging 2 counts of aggravated DUI, both Class 4 felonies. The date of offense for those Class 4 felonies was October 8th, 2022, right? And the direct complaint was filed, so the case was filed, and when the case was filed, the county attorney's office requested that a warrant be issued at the same time to secure your appearance at the next hearing. That case was filed in 2023, all right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry about
That's fine.
Thank you. So, like I said, the court is appointing you an attorney, and the status conference is on December 19th at 8:30 a.m., and the preliminary hearing is on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, right? Some of your release terms include the following. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. If you do post that bond and are released, the court is going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You are not to possess any drugs without a prescription and not to drive without a valid driver's license. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Okay, thank you so much. You may step to your left and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Oliver Bizamana and David De Leon will be next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Oliver Bizimana, August 12, 1982.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Give me one moment. All right, I have you here on one matter. That matter is a child support arrest warrant. So failure to pay child support that was issued out of the Maricopa County Superior Court. This type of matter, you are not eligible for a court-appointed attorney, so I'm not appointing one, okay? Your next hearing is what's called a return hearing. That's in family court. That's on December 18th at 10 a.m., right? When your family court judge issued this warrant, the court requested a $500 secured appearance bond, and this court is going to affirm that. So your release terms for this matter is just that secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, right?
Okay.
And so that concludes your hearing. Thank you so much. David De Leon, please. Joseph Cooley will be next. Just give me one moment. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
David Paul De Leon, May 27, 1999.
Thank you so much. So you're here on 3 matters. All 3 are probation violation warrants, all right? I'm going to go through them one by one. The first one is in criminal case CR 2023-118032. That is your case you have a conviction in that case for possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. You are alleged at this point to have violated terms 3 and 5 of that probation. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a probation revocation and possible disposition hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. Some of your release terms include no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license, and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? The second is a probation violation matter in CR 2023-121026. That is your criminal case in which you were convicted for solicitation to commit shoplift, a class 6 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5, and the court is appointing you an attorney. Your court dates and release conditions for this case, and then your third case, are going to be identical to what I read you in your first case. The probation revocation arraignment possible disposition is on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. And your release terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,000, as well as all of those remaining terms that I read to you just a moment ago. Okay? Do you understand? Yes? Okay, you need to answer out loud.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, and then in your third matter, you have a third probation violation matter, and that is in CR 2025-000005. That case, you have a conviction for possession of dangerous drugs, class 4 felony. You're alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 in this third case, okay? An attorney is appointed for you. Your probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition are set along with the others on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. In this third matter, your release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100, right? So for the first two, it was $1,000. For this third one, it's $100. And then the remainder of those terms that I went over with you apply in this case as well. So read over all of your paperwork, make sure that you understand the bond amount for each individual case. In total, your secured appearance bond for all three is $2,100, right? That concludes your hearing. Thank you. Joseph Cooley, please. And then Kai Albiston will be next. May I have your name and date of birth?
Joseph Cooley, 4/30/76.
Okay. So you're here on two matters. The first is an allegation of a new offense, and that is organized retail theft as a class 4 felony. The court did not find a probable cause for that offense, given the limited information that the court has today. Very important, though, is that the county attorney's office could choose to file this once they receive any additional information, if that exists, right? So it doesn't mean that it won't be filed. I'm just not finding probable cause right now. Now, you still are going to be appointed an attorney in this matter in case charges are filed, and you still have court dates that you have to show up for, all right? So the first is a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. The second is a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. Both are downtown. So again, very important that you are at those next hearings even though I'm not finding probable cause today, okay? Now, in your second matter, you were here on a probation violation warrant. That is in criminal case CR 2024-120067. In that case, you have a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia as a Class 6 felony, and you are alleged to have violated terms 3, 4, and 5 of your probation in that matter. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a probation revocation arraignment possible disposition hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m., and you're eligible for release. In this matter, in your probation violation matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250, and you have additional release terms that include no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? All right, so that concludes your matter. Thank you. Kai Alderson, please. Robert Shaw will be next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Kai Albiston, May 14, 2005.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, I have you here on one matter. It's an arrest warrant for a failure to pay matter.
Yeah.
Out of North Mesa Justice Court.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we have an arraignment hearing, North Mesa Justice Court, on December 17th at 1 p.m.
Okay.
When this warrant issued, the justice out of North Mesa requested a secured appearance bond in the amount of $150. This court is affirming that secured appearance bond for today. All right, so that is one of your release conditions. Now, typically, on this type of matter, you wouldn't be eligible for court-appointed counsel. However, because I am imposing that nominal bond, that $150 bond, I am appointing you an attorney for purposes of helping you deal with that bond issue if you need it.
Okay.
But only for that purpose, okay?
Thank you.
So make sure to read all of the release conditions, and your paperwork also has that next court date, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. All right, Robert Shaw, please. Alex Hitchcock will be after. All right, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
Robert Shaw, 120591.
Thank you so much. You're here on one matter. You're here on an arrest warrant out of the Pioneer Justice Court, okay? So that is for failure to either appear or pay a fine in your, it is an arrest warrant out of Pioneer Justice Court for one count of failure to appear and or pay a fine and one count of driving on a suspended license. Okay, so when the justice issued this warrant, the justice requested a bond in the amount of $256. You are eligible for release on this, okay? And the court is going to affirm that requested bond amount. So your release terms include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $256. Also, no contact with the arresting officers, and you must continue to provide the court with your address. You have an arraignment hearing on December 17th at 8:30 a.m. Now, with the nature of these offenses, you ordinarily wouldn't be entitled to court-appointed counsel. However, because I am imposing that $256 secured appearance bond, the court is going to appoint you an attorney to assist you with that bond issue if you do need assistance with it, okay? All of that is written down. That concludes your hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alex Hitchcock and then Anthony Beatty. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Alex Hitchcock, June 17, 2003.
Thank you. So I have you here on one matter. That matter includes 4 allegations of new offenses. 2 counts of driving under the influence as Class 1 misdemeanors. 1 count of extreme driving under the influence. That's also a Class 1 misdemeanor. And 1 count to failure to obey a police officer while driving. That's a Class 2 misdemeanor. Okay? The court has found probable cause as to all of those allegations except for the extreme DUI allegation. All right, so given the limited information that the court has today, the court did not find probable cause. That's not to say that the prosecutor's office won't ultimately charge that. We just don't know at this point, okay? I reviewed your financial affidavit. Based on your financial affidavit, the court finds that you are not indigent, and the court also notes that you plan on hiring private counsel. If circumstances change with your finances, you're welcome to readdress that issue about court-appointed counsel at your next hearing. You do have an arraignment hearing on December 30th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. So the court is releasing you on your own recognizance, no contact with the arresting officers, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license. Okay? And that concludes your hearing, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony Beatty, please. Larry Castorena will be after. You have your name and date of birth.
Anthony Beatty, 12/19/84.
Thank you so much. Sir, I have you here on one matter. That matter is for an allegation of a new offense, specifically 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court did find probable cause as to that allegation, and the court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is releasing you and not requiring a bond, but will release you to the supervision of pretrial services. You will receive a packet of information on what you need to do to contact them. You have other release conditions. Read the entire list, please, but they include no weapons, no drugs, no driving without a valid license.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Larry Castorena, and then Jessica Pearson. You have your name and date of birth.
First name is Larry, my last name is Castorena. My date of birth is January 7th, 1995.
Thank you, sir. You're here on one matter. That matter is for 2 allegations of new offenses. 1 allegation of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations. The court has reviewed your financial affidavit and is making a determination that at this point you are not indigent for purposes of a court-appointed attorney. You certainly may hire your own attorney or address the indigency issue at your next hearing. Your next hearing is a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. The court is not requiring a bond, but the court will be releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services with drug testing and monitoring. You will receive information about pretrial services. Okay. Other conditions of your release include no weapons, no drugs, and no driving without a valid license. Okay. That concludes your hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jessica Pearson and then Amandia Johnson. May I have your name and date of birth?
Hi, my name is Jessica Pearson, 3/17/96.
Okay, you're here on one matter. That matter includes 3 allegations of new offenses, 1 count of criminal trespass in a residential structure, Class 6 felony, and 2 counts of disorderly conduct. Both of those are Class 1 misdemeanors. The court has found probable cause as to those 3 allegations and is appointing you an attorney to represent you.
Thank you.
The status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st, also at 8:30 a.m. Okay?
Thank you.
You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. The court is not requiring a bond, but the court will release you to the supervision and pretrial services. You'll receive a packet of information on how to contact them. You have some very important terms of your release. All right, I'm going to go over just a few of them with you. Do not return to the scene of the alleged crime. Do not have any contact whatsoever with any of the alleged victims or witnesses. Okay? No weapons, no drugs, no driving without a valid license. A complete list of all of your release terms are written down, but those don't return to the scene of the crime and no victim contact, those are
After the trial?
very important.
No victim contact still?
So these release conditions will exist unless or until your trial court lifts them, okay? So for now, those are, very important release conditions that you abide by, okay? That concludes your matter. Thank you.
Okay.
Amandia Johnson, and then we will have David Jones. All right, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
Amandia Johnson, 6/2/88.
And I have you here on one matter that is for 4 allegations of new offenses, okay? One is for aggravated assault against a police officer, a Class 6 felony. 1 count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony. And 2 counts of shoplift. Both of those are Class 1 misdemeanors. The court is finding probable cause as to those allegations and is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st, also at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release, and the following conditions apply. The court is not requiring a bond, okay? So you don't have a bond, but you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. You'll receive a packet of information on how to contact them. Some of your release terms also include not going back to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victim, witness or officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, and again, the full list of all of those terms will be written down on your paperwork, okay? All right, that concludes your matter. Thank you. All right, David Jones, and then we will recall Maria Boyd. All right, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
David Germs, 10/17/87.
Thank you. All right, I have you here on one matter, okay? The failure to appear arrest warrant that originated from Santan Justice Court. And that is for your case involving count of possession of drug paraphernalia, it's a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of promise to appear, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. You have an arraignment hearing on December 18th at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
When this warrant originated out of Santan Justice Court, they requested a bond in the amount of $680, a secured appearance bond. The court is going to affirm that bond. So your terms of release will be a secured appearance bond in the amount of $680 and no contact with any of the arresting officers. Ordinarily, you would not be entitled to court-appointed counsel based on the nature of these charges, but since I am imposing that bond, the court is appointing you counsel for the limited purposes of addressing the bond issue if need be.
Okay.
That concludes your matter, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, and just give me one moment before I recall Ms. Boyd. Was it an error on...
Can you provide the paperwork again, officer? This is the bond that she got, the $100, but this is what they heard you say, that that was the bond.
Okay. Let me just... Thank you so much, Deputy, for pointing that out. All right, so let's recall Ms. Boyd, please. All right, I'm so sorry, Ms. Boyd. Will you state your name and date of birth one more time?
Maria Coronado, 08/29/99.
Okay. So I just want to recall this matter so I can clarify your release terms, okay? I want to be clear that in both of your matters, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100, okay? That amount is reflected on your written orders. When you were here, I'm so sorry, I must have, or may have mistakenly said that your bond is $1,000. On one of them, I wanted to clarify it is $100 on each matter. That is reflected in the written order, okay?
So how much is it in total?
$200.
$200.
I'm so sorry for that. I apologize. Thank you. All right. Okay, that concludes the calendar. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
She should be on her way shortly.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ms. Stead. When the defense counsel appears, do we have to do anything? Do I have to do anything? Okay, all right. And you said that that was on which number? Number 2. Number 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. Ms. Gaunt, what matters are you here on?
Just the one with counsel.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar for December 14th, 2025. Before we start, the court is going to read 2 notices. First, if you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have certain rights that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defense, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already received a written notice of these rules, please contact the Victim Services Unit at the prosecutor's office. Additionally, the court notes that the orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar day of this month will apply to today's calendars. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be as efficient as I can. I will call each one of you individually for your initial appearance into the courtroom. So please listen for your name. When you do hear it, just make your way to the podium at the center of the courtroom. I'll also be calling the next in line, and that person who's next in line, if they would please take a seat in the chair directly to the left of the doorway, that would be really helpful. When I do call you in, this is your initial appearance. I will advise you of the nature of the matter in which you are being seen, whether or not this court is appointing you an attorney, when your next scheduled court date is, and if you are eligible for release, what terms of release are being imposed. Please note, very important, that I will likely go over many of your release conditions with you in court. However, I probably will not discuss all of them. All of your release conditions will be clearly stated in the written order. You'll be given a copy of that by the deputy. So make sure to keep that copy, read through it, and understand and abide by all of your release terms. All right, and with that, may I have Caleb Carpio in the courtroom and Benjamin Anderson to the chair by the doorway. All right. Mr. Carpio, if you could state your name and date of birth.
Caleb Carpio, 05/11/2006, Your Honor.
Counsel?
Hi. Good afternoon, Your Honor. Alex Carpio on behalf of Caleb Carpio.
Okay. And counsel, have you filed a notice
I have.
of appearance? Okay, and is it for the limited purposes of today, or is it
It's for,
the general? It's, okay, thank you. And counsel for the state?
Thank you, Your Honor. Brooke Gone, on behalf of the state.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Carpio, I have you here on two matters, okay? The first is matter involving an allegation of a new offense, specifically an allegation of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. That is a Class 4 felony. Now, counsel, I am inclined to find probable cause as to this allegation, but I will ask both of you if you have anything that you would like the court to consider, starting with you, Mr. Carpio.
yes, Your Honor. My client is on probation. He has a Class 6 misdemeanor, or to earn it. I know he's on probation. If you look at the probable cause statement, there was a warrant to his home. No contraband was found at the home. And so if it wasn't for the warrant being served, there's no contraband. He is a prohibited possessor. His mother is in the galley, and she claims that is her gun and that she slept over, and that's why we're here. If it wasn't for that, he wouldn't be held. So I just want to ask, is he held on the probation violation only, or is there any further charges?
So this first matter is for the new allegation of possession. Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the warrant to the apartment, there was no contraband. The warrant says it's for possession or sale of drugs. There's no drugs found. So my request is that he be released to his probation. If you look at his probation officer, he's not testing dirty. He's been compliant. The weapon belongs to the mother. And if the court is not inclined to do that, I'd ask for a secure bond so he can fight this charge.
Thank you. And counsel in the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. The weapon was found in a hamper in the master bedroom closet. Additionally, law enforcement provided, what I would say is this is a very thorough Form 4. Law enforcement included several references to Mr. Carpio's social media accounts where there are photos of him with handguns. Additionally, the Form 4 indicates that he made admissions to law enforcement that this was a gun that he got, I believe he said, a week after he was arrested on the charge that he is now on probation for. So again, we're only dealing with probable cause, which is a very low standard. I think there's enough information in the Form 4 to provide the factual basis for that charge.
Mr. Carpio, while I appreciate your argument, the court is finding probable cause as to the allegation. So the court will obviously not appoint an attorney, because you have your attorney here, and you do have a status conference scheduled on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release before the court imposes any release conditions. Mr. Carpio, would you like to be heard?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is employed. He has good family support, and I ask that he be released the same way he was released with the pretrial services. And if the court is inclined to do a bond, it'd be secured bond in a low amount.
Thank you. And Ms. Gaunt.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $25,000 secured appearance bond in this matter. The state is very concerned, especially given Mr. Carpio's statements to law enforcement, that about a week after he was arrested on that prior charge, he purchased another firearm. Obviously, at that time, he would have been on release for that initial possession of drug paraphernalia charge. So the state does have a concern that it doesn't appear that Mr. Carpio is likely to comply with release orders. So given that, we think that that secured bond is necessary. Additionally, because this involves a firearm, the state is concerned for danger to the community. Thank you.
And Your Honor, just to be heard, there's no brandishing, there's nothing like that. In fact, it was a warrant in his home. No contraband was found. That was the basis of that warrant. And with that said, again, I ask that there be no bond set, and if it is, a lower amount of secured bond.
Okay. Thank you, both counsel. All right, the court is going to impose the following release conditions. The court will impose a secured appearance bond in the amount of $15,000. If you post that bond and are released from custody, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. I'm going to go over some of the release conditions with you, Mr. Carpio, but again, a full list is going to be on the written order. Very important order is that, you may not possess any weapons, any ammunition, any simulated weapons, BB guns, pellet guns, or replicas of deadly weapons. Okay? No contact with the arresting officers, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol. I believe you're under 21, but no alcohol. And no driving without a valid driver's license. And you will be ordered to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay. All right, then, Ms. Scott, would you like to be excused for the probation violation?
No, I can just stay.
Okay.
Finish up.
All right. And Mr. Carpio, are you, is your notice of appearance for both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so your second matter, your probation violation matter, okay? This is in criminal case CR 2025-137428. Just give me one moment. All right, so I believe in that you have a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia. You're alleged to have violated term 1 of your probation in that case. Term 1 is simply don't get any new charges, okay? So by virtue of the charge that we just went over, it is alleged that your violation in that older case it is violated, okay? So you will note that Mr. Carpio has entered his notice of appearance, and you have your probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. So I am inclined in this matter to impose a secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500. Would either counsel like to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm just, if it could be the same amount, a $15,000 bond to secure both appearances, that's my request.
Okay, I do note that you have family support, and can you ensure the court that you will contact your probation officer and attend your probation revocation and arraignment hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, arraignment and disposition hearing? Okay. I will lower the bond in this matter to $500. That will be a total of $15,500 for both matters. Your terms of release for this probation matter include no contact with the arresting officers, a lot of the same terms as the first one. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license, You've got to contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay? Okay. Mr. Carpio, is there anything further?
Just some direction from the court. Where does the secured bond get posted? So, and how long would it take if it's posted today for his release?
That I don't know, okay. Honestly, Mr. Carpio.
I'll ask someone else.
Thank you.
Ms. Gahn? Can I be excused, Your Honor?
Yes, thank you. All right, so we're all set, okay? Make sure to get your written orders and comply with everything.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yep. Thank you, Counsel.
Thank you.
Is it showing?
Yes.
Okay. We're all set? Okay. May I have Benjamin Anderson, please, and then Chad Small will be next. All right, so what is your name and date of birth?
Benjamin Allen Anderson, July 28, 1997.
Thank you so much. Mr. Anderson, I have you here on one matter. That matter includes 2 allegations of new charges. One is criminal trespass in the first degree is a Class 6 felony, and the other is disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations. The court has reviewed your financial affidavit, and based on that, I'm making a finding that we're not indigent based on the information that the court has today, meaning the court is not going to appoint you a court-appointed attorney today. You are certainly free to hire your own attorney or revisit the issue of indigency at the next hearing, all right? Your next hearing is a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is going to impose the following terms, and keep in mind this isn't a complete list, so make sure to look at your paperwork. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $7,500. If you post that bond, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services, and before you are released from jail, you will be fitted with electronic monitoring equipment, okay? You will have a curfew on that electronic monitoring unit, and through pretrial services, that curfew will be set by your pretrial officer. Very important. I'm going to go over some of the release conditions. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Do you understand? Okay. No contact with the alleged victim, any witnesses, or any arresting officers. You are not to possess any weapons whatsoever, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid driver's license. Let me just take a quick look to see if I've forgotten anything. The court does want to know that the court is in receipt and has reviewed victim statements, as well as the state's recommendation. All right, I've made all necessary orders, sir, so your hearing is complete and you can get your paperwork. Thank you. May I have Chad Small, and then Dominic Ballesteros will be next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth, please?
Chad Small, 3/19/1975.
Thank you so much. All right, so I have you here on a grand jury arrest warrant, okay? Now, That is for an indictment involving 1 count of fraudulent schemes and artifices, a Class 2 felony, and 13 counts of forgery, all Class 4 felonies. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a original arraignment hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. I'm going to go over your release conditions with you. When this grand jury warrant was issued, the court at that time requested a cash-only bond in the amount of $50,000. Okay. This court is affirming that request. So the cash bond in the amount of $50,000. If you post that bond, you will be released to pretrial services on an electronic monitoring unit, which will be installed before you were to leave the jail. On that monitoring equipment and pretrial services, you will have a curfew, and that curfew will be set by your pretrial services officer. Other terms of release, including no contact with any of the alleged victims, witnesses, no contact with any arresting officers, no contact with any co-defendants, if that is applicable, no drugs, and no driving without a valid driver's license. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. That concludes your hearing. May I have Dominic Ballesteros, and then Leonard Gooseby will be next. Thank you. May I have your name and date of birth?
Dominic Ballesteros. Dominic Christopher Ballesteros, sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, you are here on one matter. That matter involves allegations of 2 new offenses. One is assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and the other is criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have an arraignment hearing on December 18th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. I'm going to go over some of the release terms with you. Please see your written order for a complete list. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500. Additionally, here's some very important terms. You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. If that is your place of residence, you'll have to find somewhere else to live while this is pending and until or unless your trial court lifts that. The court will authorize a one-time civil standby to be completed by law enforcement so that you can retrieve any of your personal belongings if that applies. No contact with the victim, no contact with any witnesses or arresting officers, no weapons whatsoever, no drugs without a valid prescription. And then please, again, just read your entire list for all of the terms. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
So, one question. Am I getting released or do I have a bond?
You have a bond, a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500.
So I have to pay that to get out?
That is 20%. So it's not a cash bond, which would require you to pay the entire amount up front. It is a secured appearance bond, and you can certainly try to work with any of the bond companies. I believe that there's a list in the back.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Okay. Leonard Gooseby, please, and then Gabriel Begay will be after Mr. Gooseby. All right. May I have your name and date of birth?
Leonard Earl Gooseby Jr.
What is your date of birth?
July 12th, 1990.
Thank you so much. So I have you here on one matter. This is a arrest warrant that issued after you allegedly failed to appear for sentencing on a criminal case, and that is CR 2025-132241. That's for your case involving conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and criminal trespass, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a cash-only appearance bond in the amount of $1,000. When your trial court issued the warrant for your arrest, that judge did request the cash bond in that amount, and this court is affirming that. Other terms of your release include no weapons, no drugs, no driving without a valid driver's license. Okay? Thank you, sir. Your hearing is concluded. All right, Gabriel Begay, and then Guillermo Garcia will follow.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Gabriel Begay, 9389.
All right, you were here on one matter that involves allegations of two new offenses. Okay, they are both aggravated assault on a healthcare professional. Both are Class 6 felonies. The court has found probable cause as to these allegations and has appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd also at 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
You are eligible for release. I want you to know that the state is recommending a $25,000 secured appearance bond.
I'm not able to make that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, terms of your release, regardless of what bond the court imposes, will certainly include that you not have any contact with the alleged victims and that you not return to the scene of the alleged crime, which is St. Luke's Hospital. Do you understand that?
Even if I were to call 911 and I tell them I can't be transferred to that?
You have, yes.
Okay.
You cannot have contact with those victims.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Are you willing to abide by
Yes.
that?
Yes.
All right. And you understand that failure to comply with those court orders could arise in failure to comply with judicial proceedings, which would be a new offense.
I understand.
Okay. All right. So given that, I am going to impose a bond, but I'm going to impose a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500.
And that means it has to be paid in cash.
It means that a secured appearance bond is 20% of the, it's not a cash bond.
Okay.
Secured appearance bond is 20%. But you know, you have to work that out back there.
All right.
So if you do post a bond, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. And again, I don't mean to repeat myself, but no contact with any of the victims, no going back to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any witnesses, any complainants, any of the arresting officers. You are not to possess any weapons. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. No drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And no driving without a valid driver's
Yes.
license. Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Guillermo Garcia, please, and then David Buncher, please. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Guillermo Garcia, 07/02/88.
Thank you. You're here on 2 matters. The first matter involves allegations of new charges. Those allegations include 1 count of possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of criminal trespass, a Class 2 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to those allegations and is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following conditions, and I'm going to go over several of them. Complete list is going to be on the written order. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. The court is ordering that you not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any alleged victims, any witnesses, or any of the arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs, no driving without a valid prescription. All right, so in your second matter, you're here on an alleged probation violation matter. All right, that's in your criminal case number CR 2021-147513. You are alleged to have violated your probation in this older criminal case by allegedly violating term 1 of that probation. So term 1 is no new offenses while on probation, and so by virtue of the offenses that we just went over, you are alleged to have violated your probation. Okay? You are being appointed an attorney to represent you in the probation matter. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. Some of your release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, no contact with the arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay?
Okay.
All right, sir. That concludes your matter. Thank you. All right. David Venture, please, and then Adrian Gary. Hello, sir. May I have your name and date of birth?
David Butcher, June 5th of 1966.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sir. You're here on 2 matters. The first matter involves allegations of new offenses. Those allegations are possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony, and criminal trespass is a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to those allegations and is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following conditions in this case. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. Other terms of your release include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. As to your second matter, you are here for a probation violation matter, and that is on your criminal case CR 2019-121276. In that old case, you have convictions, a conviction for possession of narcotic drugs, possession of dangerous drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia. You are alleged to have violated term 1 of your probation in this older case. Term 1 simply states no new offenses. So by virtue of you getting those new allegations that we just went over, you're now alleged to have violated term 1 of your probation in that old criminal case, okay? The court is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a probation, revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition on December 19th. You know what, I'm so sorry. You have a probation, revocation, arraignment hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You have a disposition on December 19th at 1:30 p.m. Those 2 times are going to be written in your paperwork. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following release conditions. Please make sure that you read your written order for the full list. Okay. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. You made it up to your list. All right, Adrian Gary, and then we'll have Sandrika Curley. All right. You have your name and date of birth.
Yes, Adrian Gary, May 25th of 1989.
Thank you so much. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so you're here on one matter, all right? So you're here on an arrest warrant that issued out of the El Centro Justice Court. That was for a failure to appear on a case involving 2 counts of driving under the influence, both are class 1 misdemeanors, and 1 count of extreme driving under the influence, also a class 1 misdemeanor.
Do I get to speak on that matter?
Just give me 1 second, okay?
Didn't mean to be rude, sorry.
That's okay. So the court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have an arraignment hearing on December 17th at 8:30 a.m. And you are eligible for release. So I'm going to go over some of those release terms with you. When this warrant issued from the El Centro Justice Court, the justice there asked for a bond in the amount of $500, a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. For purposes of today, this court is going to affirm that, all right? So $500 secured appearance, and then you'll have other release conditions, including no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license. Before you say anything, I just want to caution you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say to me would likely be used against you. So with that in mind, you know, what is it that you would like to say?
Okay, yes, I still would like to speak on my behalf. Only reason, that I know the case is kind of old, and the only reason I do want to speak is because it's not like it wasn't a warrant that I didn't want to take care of. This warrant was issued. I was in prison for that same issue, and I just was released October 28th. So the warrant was already released, you know. They had contacted my dad, and he did tell me while I was incarcerated, you had a court date. Well, obviously I couldn't make it to that court date because I'm currently.
So you were released on October 28th.
Correct.
And where were you incarcerated?
Perryville.
Okay.
For the same exact charges. So, like, as far as me receiving notices about the court dates and stuff like that, even if I did receive them, I was incarcerated at the time. And now I did find out, like, a little bit, like, right before I got out, my dad told me, somebody been contacting you, but I don't think it's no issue because you was already in prison. But so I did the justice of calling around, and I called the justice court. I called the Maricopa.
Let me ask you this really quick. Were you incarcerated for, let's see. Were you incarcerated on the possession of dangerous drugs and
No.
aggravated DUI case?
I was incarcerated on an aggravated DUI case. Now, that's what I did my 1.75 in prison for. So with the drug charge is I'm currently on probation. I was released from probation right after prison for 4 years. So I'm currently on probation for the drug case.
Are you complying with probation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so you've been released for just shy of 2 months.
Correct.
Okay. And
I did once I found out, and I called the courts. I called the Maricopa County. They said, we don't have a warrant for you on our records. We don't see anything. So I kept calling around because I'm like, if I had a court date like my dad's telling me, there's a warrant, because obviously I wasn't there. I was in prison, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did find out about the warrant, and I did contact the courts and let them know that, you know, I wanted to get it, you know, I was currently on probation, my living situation, my working situation, and that I will be down to take care of it as soon as possible. I asked them if they can take notes. I forgot exactly who I spoke to. But, like, I don't want to go back to jail. Like, I'm...
Sam, hold on just 1 second, okay? Will you reprint that for me? All right, so I don't need to hear anything else because I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, okay? All right. Don't let this derail you, okay? Take care of this. Continue to comply with probation, all right? So that's going to change your court date, okay? So your court date is going to be on December 18th at 1:30 p.m., all right? You know, just make sure no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a license, and just get all of this taken care of, okay?
Will do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Was that number 15? Oh my gosh, No, okay. May I have Sandrika Curley, please? And then after Ms. Curley will be Jason Solea. All right. May I have your name and date of birth?
Sandra Amy Curley, 52487.
Thank you so much. All right. So, Ms. Curley, I have you here on one matter. It is a probation violation warrant, and that is for criminal case CR 2019-005241. Okay. That was for your case involving a conviction for burglary, a Class 4 felony. You are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of that probation. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. All right? You are eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $550. Other terms of your release include the following, but please see your written order for a full list. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid license. You have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay?
Okay. My daughter's, okay, like throughout prison, okay, I did 7.5 years. I was out for 2 weeks, and then I went back for another 6.5 for those burglaries and stuff. So I've never, ever once been present for any of my kids' birthdays. My daughter's birthday is on December.
Let me just, I'm so sorry to cut you off. So your probation violation judge, when this warrant issued, your judge that knows your case requested a $550 secured appearance bond.
Okay.
That's where this court is getting that number for the bond amount. The court is going to affirm that bond amount today. All right? Okay.
All right.
Thank you. You may step to your left.
Okay.
Jason Stalea, please, and then Gloria Vasquez. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Jason Trevor Salea, 6/11/77.
Thank you. Okay, you're here on one matter. It's an arrest warrant that was issued when the county attorney filed a direct complaint against you. That complaint includes one charge of possession of narcotic drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. All right. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release. I'm going to go over some of your terms with you, and then the complete list is in your paperwork. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50, all right? No weapons, no drugs, no driving without a license. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, just give me one moment. Okay, have I called Gloria Vasquez yet? No. Okay, Gloria Vasquez, please, and then we'll have Casey Cosner. Gloria. 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 Then will you please state your name and date of birth?
Gloria Vasquez, 2462.
Okay. Ms. Vasquez, you are here on two matters. The first is an arrest warrant, okay, that was issued when the county attorney filed a direct complaint against you. That's a new case. And that case includes a charge of possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and the date of the alleged offenses was October 9th, 2025. All right. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. Terms of your release include the following, but please see the written order for a full list. In this matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500. Other terms include no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, and no driving without a license. You must also contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your second matter is a probation violation petition, okay? This is for your probation in criminal case CR 2024-156987. In that criminal case, you have a conviction for possession of drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony, and you are being alleged to have violated term 1 of your probation in that matter. Term 1 is no new offenses while on probation. So by virtue of the offenses that I just went over with you that allegedly occurred on October 9th of 2025, you are alleged to have violated term 1 of your probation in that older criminal case. The court is appointing an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. In this matter, some of your release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50, right? And then the other terms of no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Then you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Let me step to your left to get the paperwork. Casey Cosner, please, and then Jeffrey Hack. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Casey James Cosner, 11/17/81.
All right, thank you. You're here on 2 matters, all right? The first matter is an arrest warrant. That was issued when the county attorney filed a direct complaint against you. It's a new case, charging you with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, and possession of drug paraphernalia with an alleged date of offense of March 17th, 2025, okay? From your financial affidavit, the court finds that you are not indigent at this time. So the court will not be appointing you an attorney. You're certainly free to hire one if you choose, or to revisit that indigency question at your next court hearing.
Yeah, I think I probably need to do that, because I'm not making that much money.
After you pay your bills at the end of the month,
think, yeah.
how much money do you have left over?
Probably, I don't know, $300 maybe. I don't know. I only make like $100 a day. If that. Sometimes only $50 a day.
Okay. Well, you have your pay amount is $3,500 a month.
Oh.
In your affidavit.
Oh, I don't know. That guy must have did. I didn't say that. I didn't write it.
Okay, and you have your total expenses at $410 a month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So your income is much less than what is indicated on the financial affidavit?
Yes, for sure. Definitely. I probably make about $400 a week. That's what I make, $400 a week. And that's if I'm...
Okay, it's okay, sir. I will appoint you an attorney.
Thank you.
Okay, so I corrected that on that order. Sorry. and I just signed it. Okay, so I will appoint you an attorney. You have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30, preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30. Your release conditions include the following, but please see the paperwork for a full list. In this matter, you have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50. No weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without a valid license. You have to contact your probation officer within 72 hours, okay? In the second matter, give me 1 second, I'm going to correct the financial information on this case as well. All right, let me start over with this one. So your second matter is for an allegation of probation violation. Okay, so this is in your criminal case CR 2018-137331. That is the case that you have a conviction. Let's see. Okay. That is your 2018 case. You are alleged to have violated Term 1 of your probation in that older case. Term 1 is no new offenses. So by virtue of the offenses that triggered the direct complaint that we just talked about, you're alleged to have violated your probation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So the court will appoint an attorney in this matter. In this matter, you have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. In this case, your release conditions include, but are not limited to, a $500 secured appearance bond. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
So I need $550 to get out, is that what you're saying?
It's a secured appearance bond. So cash bond would be, you have to pay the entire amount up front. The secured appearance bond is 20%.
Okay, and, all right.
All right.
And those are on the same date, both of those cases, like?
So, in the direct complaint, so the first thing that we went over, the direct complaint, those offenses allegedly took place on March 17th, 2025.
No, I'm talking about the date of the court hearings, like that you said the 19th on both of them, I thought?
So, yeah, you have a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. in the case involving the direct complaint, the new case. You also have a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. In your probation case, you have a revocation and possible disposition on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. Okay? So your release paperwork will have both of those dates and times. All right? So just make sure you read the paperwork. I know it's a little confusing with two matters. And
So I have to go to two court dates the same day? Basically, you're telling me?
you do. So if you are in custody, then it will be the court and the MCSO's responsibility to get you to those court hearings. If you are released, you will need to call the courts, try to get in touch with your court-appointed attorney, and try to iron out that conflicting time on the 19th.
Okay.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. That was the second one. Okay. May I have Jeffrey Hack and then Christopher Valdez?
Good evening, Your Honor.
Hello. Good evening. May I have your name and date of birth?
Oh, Jeffrey Hack,
Jeffrey William Hack Jr., January 2nd, 1997.
All right. You're here on one matter that is an allegation of a new offense. It's criminal trespass is a Class 5 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that allegation. I have reviewed your financial affidavit. I find that you are not indigent at this time based on the information that you supplied. So the court is not appointing you an attorney. You are free, of course, to hire your own attorney or to revisit your financial situation, that issue, at the next court hearing. Your next court hearings are a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st at 8:30 a.m. Terms of your release are as follows. So the court is releasing you on your own recognizance. Very important, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
No contact with any complainants, any witnesses, the arresting officers, no possession of any weapons of any type, no drugs without a valid prescription, and no driving without a license. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it. Christopher Valdez, please, and then we will have Walter. Oh, you don't have to call Walter Wilson, right? He's gone. Okay.
Right, you're just gonna read it on the record as normal?
Great. All right. May I have your name and date of birth?
Christopher Valdez, 10/16/1996.
All right, so you're here on allegations of new offenses. Those allegations are disorderly conduct with a weapon, a Class 6 felony, and disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations. The court has reviewed your financial affidavit and has determined that given that information, you are not indigent. So the court is not appointing an attorney to represent you at this time. You are certainly free to hire your own attorney at your expense or revisit the issue of your financial situation and possible indigency at a later court date. You are eligible for release.
Your Honor, if I may say something.
Just give me 1 second,
I'm so
okay? All right, so you're eligible for release. I've got to tell you, these are just allegations, and you are certainly presumed innocent and are far away from, a finding or determination of guilt. However, based on the allegations, they do cause me concerns for the safety of, certainly yourself, but the victim, the community, etc. Now, that being said, I did review the state's recommendation and the victim statement, and the court is going to impose the following terms. The court is going to release you without a required bond, but you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. Before you are released from jail, you will be fitted with an electronic monitoring unit, okay? So you will have an ankle bracelet, basically, and you will have a curfew that you have to abide by. That curfew will be set by your pretrial officer. You may not possess any weapons whatsoever. You may not possess any ammunition, any simulated weapons, any BB guns, pellet guns, or replicas of deadly weapons. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to reside at the same location of any alleged victim, nor are you to go back to the scene of the alleged crime. If that is a place of your residence, you'll have to find another place to stay until that release condition is lifted. The court will authorize one civil standby with a law enforcement officer to collect your personal belongings from that residence. All right, so again, can't go back to the scene of the crime except for with that civil standby, no contact with the victim, no contact with the witnesses, no contact with the arresting officers, no weapons. I read all the, the specifics of that. No drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license. You have the right to remain silent, and anything that you say to me in this proceeding will likely be used in future proceedings. I'm going to caution you with that, but if there's something that you would like to state to the court.
So am I I'm going to be released?
You're going to be released on an electronic, an ankle bracelet, okay? And you got to comply with that. You got to comply with pretrial services. You got to go to your next hearings, which are December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and December 31st at 8:30 a.m. And you have to comply with those release conditions, including not going back to the house, not having contact with the victim for now. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay. So we will do, just gonna, oh, perfect, thank you. All right, so on number 7, that is regarding defendant Walter Wilson. The court finds that the defendant was erroneously booked, then refused by ITR Medical. This matter is being no action based on the belief that Phoenix Police Department will rebook correctly after the defendant receives the needed treatment. Thank you so much. And that is on Walter Wilson, date of birth March 20th, 1952. Thank you so much. And with respect to Hunter Chavez, Deputy, my understanding is that Hunter Chavez could not be brought into the courtroom because Hunter Chavez was fighting with officers and couldn't be brought to the courtroom based on being a threat to himself or others or a disruption. Is that right? Your Honor. Okay. So we will do this in-house. For the record, Hunter Chavez with a date of birth April 5th, 2001 is here on one matter. That involves allegations of new offenses, 2 counts of aggravated assault, both Class 6 felonies, and 1 count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony. I'm going to edit this one. The court finds probable cause as to all 3 allegations. The court has reviewed the financial affidavit and cannot make a indigency determination, and has determined that based on the financial information provided that Hunter Chavez is not indigent at this time. No attorney will be appointed, therefore. Next court dates are a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m. Release conditions include a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, no contact with the victim, witness, arresting officers, no weapons, no alcohol, no drugs, and not returning to the scene of the crime. I will conduct the IA now, and if anything changes, the written order will reflect the court's final order. And with that, we will go off the record. And then, Deputy, just give me one moment. All right, todos a pie. Thank you. Please be seated. Do we have an interpreter? Oh, no. Oh, great, okay. Which number is it? Is it number one? Okay. Number three, okay. And that's the only one? Yes. Okay. All right, this is the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar. It is December 14th, 2025. Before the court begins the calendar, I will start by reading 2 advisements. And I'm sorry, so the interpreter is on right now? Yes. Okay. Madam Interpreter, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Could you state your appearance, please, for the record?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Marta. And it's interpreter 3777985.
Okay. Madam Interpreter, I will be calling Mr. Velasquez in just a moment, but I do need to read these advisements, and I need for you to interpret them, please.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law.
Si usted es víctima de una situación, al presentarse en esta corte, usted tiene derechos de acuerdo a la ley del estado de Arizona.
Among these rights include the right to be treated with fairness, dignity, and respect, the right to have a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, and to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defense.
usted tiene derecho a un trato digno, justo y respetuoso, tiene derecho a estar presente en todas las audiencias de la corte y tiene derecho a recibir consejos de ser necesario.
These rights also include the right to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing.
También tiene derecho a que se le escuche y a que escuche usted todos los procedimientos de la corte y a que escuche el acuerdo al que se llegue.
And finally, you have the right to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss.
Por último, tiene derecho a recibir restitución de una persona que se le dé una convicción o que le esté causando algún daño.
If you have not already received a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Rights Unit of the Prosecutor's Office.
Si usted no ha recibido una lista de todos estos derechos, por favor, póngase en contacto con la oficina de los derechos a la víctima de los defensores.
The court also notes that the court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month remain in effect for this calendar.
También la corte le informa que los derechos que se determinan en el primer día del mes en curso siguen estando en efecto.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are here for your initial appearance, and I will try to make this calendar as efficient as possible.
Damas y caballeros, están ustedes aquí para su comparecencia inicial y trataré de coordinar esto de acuerdo al calendario.
I will call each of you individually, so please listen for your name. When you hear it, please make your way to the podium at the center of the courtroom.
Les voy a llamar de manera individual, así que por favor cuando escuchen su nombre, diríjanse al podio de la corte.
I will also indicate who is second in line, and I will ask the person who is second to take a seat in the chair just directly to the left of the doorway to the courtroom.
También les diré quién es el segundo en línea y le voy a decir a esa persona que está en segundo lugar que se siente al asiento que está hacia la derecha cerca de la puerta de la corte.
When you are in the courtroom, we will conduct your initial appearance. As part of your initial appearance, I will advise you on the nature of the matter in which you are being seen.
Cuando ustedes están en la corte, vamos a tener su comparecencia inicial y les voy a informar acerca de los procedimientos en las comparecencias iniciales.
I will let you know if the court is appointing you an attorney and when your next court dates are.
Les informaré si la corte les va a proporcionar un abogado. También les informaré de las fechas de sus siguientes cortes.
And finally, if you are eligible for release, the court will go over release conditions with you.
Y finalmente, si ustedes van a tener derecho a que se les deje en libertad, les voy a informar las condiciones para poder irse en libertad.
Please note that the court will likely go over many of your release conditions with you, but perhaps not all of the conditions. Please see your written order, which is your paperwork, for a complete list of all release conditions imposed by this court.
Yo les informaré de sus condiciones de libertad, pero toman en consideración que no se les informarán de todas y cada una de ellas. Por favor, revisen y lean los papeles de este procedimiento que se les darán.
And with that, the court will call Brian Velasquez Koenig first, and if I could have Tanner McFarland to the chair by the door.
La corte llama primero a Brian Velázquez y Tanner McBrien, por favor, tome asiento.
Please state your name and date of birth.
Por favor, diga su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
Brian Velázquez Guinea, 14 de abril 2005.
Brian Velázquez Igna, April 14, 2005.
Sir, you are here on one matter. That matter includes 2 allegations of new charges.
Señor, está aquí por una situación nueva. Esta situación nueva incluye 2 alegatos diferentes.
Those include 1 allegation of manslaughter, a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of driving under the influence, a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Esos alegatos son un alegato por homicidio involuntario, que es un delito grave de tipo 2, y el otro delito por estar manejando intoxicado, que es un delito grave de tipo 1.
The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations. The court has also reviewed your financial affidavit that you provided.
La Corte ha revisado las causas probables de estos alegatos y también ha revisado la información financiera que usted proporcionó.
The court notes that according to the information in your financial affidavit, the court cannot make a determination of, the court is not appointing an attorney as the court is finding that you are not indigent.
De acuerdo a la información financiera que usted proporcionó, la Corte encuentra que usted no califica para un defensor público.
This is based on the monthly income that you provided, as well as the total of your monthly obligations.
La Corte determina esto basando su ingreso mensual y también en los gastos que tiene usted mensuales.
You are free to hire an attorney at your own expense. You are also free to revisit this issue of indigency at a future court date.
Usted tiene derecho, usted determinó que usted no es indigente, usted tiene derecho a contratar a su propio abogado y también tiene derecho a que esta determinación de que no es indigente se revise en una corte futura.
Your next court dates are a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd at 8:30 a.m.
Su siguiente fecha de corte es el 19 de diciembre por conferencia a las 8:30 de la mañana y su audiencia preliminar es el 23 de diciembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You are eligible for release, and your release conditions include the following: the court is imposing a cash-only bond in the amount of $500,000.
Usted es elegible para irse en libertad, pero las condiciones que está poniendo la corte es que usted debe de cumplir con una fianza de $5,000.
If you post that bond and are released from jail, you shall not be released until you are fitted with electronic monitoring equipment.
Si usted paga esa fianza, usted puede salir de la cárcel, pero no podrá salir de la cárcel hasta que no se le ponga un dispositivo de monitoreo electrónico.
And from there, you would be released to the supervision of pretrial services with that ankle monitor and a curfew, the time of which will be imposed or decided by your pretrial officer.
Una vez que sea usted liberado con ese dispositivo de monitoreo en el tobillo, también usted estará bajo la supervisión de el departamento de probatoria y ellos le darán seguimiento a sus fechas de corte.
Additional release conditions include you may not drive a motor vehicle at any time. You are cautioned that violation of this order may constitute the crime of interfering with judicial proceedings, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Usted, al liberarse, usted tendrá prohibido operar un vehículo y si usted hace caso omiso de esto, se van a hacer procedimientos judiciales en su contra y se va a considerar un delito grave en primer grado.
You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to have any contact with the alleged victim's representatives. You are not to have any contact with any witnesses or arresting officers.
Usted no puede regresar al lugar de los hechos, usted no puede tener ningún contacto con el representante de la víctima, no puede tener contacto con ninguno de los testigos ni con ninguno de los oficiales que estuvieron presentes.
Sir, you are not to possess any weapons. You are not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol.
Usted, señor, no puede poseer ningún arma de fuego, no puede estar en posesión de ninguna droga, a menos que tenga una receta válida para esto, y no puede consumir alcohol.
You must keep the court apprised of your current address. All of those conditions are written on your paperwork, sir. This concludes your hearing. You may step to your left.
Usted debe de mantener informado a la corte de su dirección actual. Todas estas condiciones están en sus papeles. Usted puede hacerse hacia la izquierda.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And Madam Interpreter, I'm told that that's the only matter that you are needed on. And so you may be excused. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am, for your services.
Thank you. Ma'am, Hannah McFarland and then Alroy Zacharias will be next. May I have your name and date of birth?
Tanner McFarland, September 13th, 2002.
Sir, you are here on one matter. That matter involves 2 allegations of new offenses, specifically 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, Class 2 felony, 1 count of aggravated DUI, that is driving under the influence and traveling the wrong way. It's a Class 4 felony. The court has found probable cause as to both of those allegations, and the court is appointing you an attorney based on your financial affidavit. Your next hearings are a status conference on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 23rd, also at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release in this matter, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a cash-only bond in the amount of $100,000. If you post that bond and are released from jail, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services, and before you leave the jail, you will be outfitted with an electronic monitoring ankle bracelet. At that point, you will have a curfew, the time of which will be decided by your pretrial officer. Additional terms of your release include the following. You're ordered not to drive any motor vehicle at any time, and this court is cautioning you that violating that order may constitute the crime of interfering with judicial proceedings. That's a Class 1 misdemeanor under ARS, Arizona Revised Statute 13-2810. You are ordered further not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, not to have any contact with the alleged victim, any witnesses, complainants, or arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription. You are not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must provide the court with proof of your local address, and also you must submit to DNA testing at the arresting police department. All right. All of that is written down for you. That concludes your hearing. You can get your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I have Alroy Zacharias, and then Ryan Trompler will just follow. Hello, may I have your name and date of birth?
It's Alroy Zacharias, 06/04/1998.
Thank you. Sir, you're here on one matter. It's a probation violation warrant. That is in your criminal case CR 2025-104991. That is a criminal case in which, just give me one moment. It is a criminal case for which you are on probation, and you are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of that probation. The court is appointing you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. You have additional terms of release. They will be stated fully on your paperwork. Please read them. But those do include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, and no driving without a valid license. Additionally, you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Okay.
You need to get your paperwork. May I please have Ryan Trompler, and then Sequeo Zuniga will be after. Ryan Trompler? Oh, okay. May I have your name and date of birth?
Ryan Trompler, 42087.
Okay. Thank you. I have you here on one matter. Okay, it's a probation violation warrant. That's in criminal case CR 2025-000-530. All right, so that is a criminal case in which you were convicted of possession of drug paraphernalia. All right, so you are alleged to have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation in that matter. The court is appointing you an attorney. You have a probation revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing on December 19th at 8:30 a.m. You're eligible for release. The court is imposing the following terms. You have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50, all right? You have other release conditions. They're listed fully on your paperwork, so read them. But they include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. May I have Mr. Zuniga, please, and then Elizabeth Towers will be next. All right. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Sakeo Zuniga, February 9, 1999.
Okay, thank you. So I have you here on one matter. This is a matter involving an allegation of a new offense, specifically violating an order of protection. Okay, so that is violating an order or mandate of the court. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. The court has found probable cause for that and has appointed you an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have an arraignment hearing on December 17th at 8:30 a.m. You are eligible for release, and the court is imposing the following terms. The court is imposing a secured appearance bond in the amount of $500, right? Now, other release conditions include you must comply with any active order of protection or injunction against harassment. Do you understand?
Can I talk?
Well, you have a right to remain silent, okay? And, you know, I caution you that anything that you would say to me would be used against you. So I just want to make sure that you understand if there are any active orders of protection or injunctions against harassment, you must comply with those as part of your release conditions in this case. Okay? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are not to initiate any contact with any alleged witnesses to this allegation. So that would include any passengers in your car. All right?
Okay.
You're not to initiate any contact with the officers, no weapons whatsoever. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription, no alcohol, no driving without a license, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You can get your paperwork on your way out. Elizabeth Towers, please, and then if I could have Roberta Clemens Brown in the chair. May I have your name and date of birth?
Elizabeth Towers, 4/11/95.
All right, Ms. Towers, I have you here on one matter. That matter involves allegations of 3 new offenses. They are possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, and criminal trespass. All right? Now, the court is finding probable cause as to criminal trespass, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. But given the limited information that this court has available today, this court is not finding probable cause as to the possession of dangerous drugs and the possession of drug paraphernalia. Now, I do want to caution you that at any time the prosecutor's office could choose to file any or all of those charges. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay. So keep in mind, for today's limited purposes, that is my finding. You have a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m., and a preliminary hearing on December 31st, also at 8:30 a.m., all right? The date and time of both of those hearings and the court location will be on your paperwork, all right? You are eligible for release under the following terms. So the court is not requiring a bond from you today. The court is releasing you on your own recognizance if, if you can attest that you will make it to your next court hearing. Can you make it to your next court hearings? Okay. Other release conditions include you're not to go back to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any victims, any witnesses, or any arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, all right, and no driving without a valid license, okay? That concludes your hearing. You can get your paperwork on your way out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Roberta Clemens Brown, and then we will have Isaiah Cox next. All right, may I have your name and date of birth?
Roberta Clemens Brown, 5279.
Okay, Ms. Brown, I have you here on one matter, and that matter is 2 allegations of new offenses. One is theft, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and the other is possession of dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, all right? The court has found a probable cause as to those allegations and has appointed an attorney to represent you in this matter. You have a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st, also at 8:30 a.m. The dates, times, and locations of those hearings are on your paperwork.
Okay.
You are eligible for release under the following terms. The court is not requiring a bond, okay? So no bond will be needed. However, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. So you will get a packet of information on how you can contact them and, just make sure that you are in compliance with their requirements pending your court hearing. Additional terms of your release include no returning to the scene of the crime, no contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers, no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, and no driving without a valid license.
Okay.
All right. So, ma'am, that concludes your hearing. You can get your paperwork from the deputy. And if I could have Isaiah Knox, please. May I have your name and date of birth?
Isaiah Knox, 3/11/2000.
All right, so you are here on one matter, and that matter is an allegation for a new offense, okay? It's a theft, which is a Class 5 felony. The court has found probable cause as to that allegation and is appointing an attorney to represent you. You have a status conference on December 29th at 8:30 a.m. and a preliminary hearing on December 31st, also at 8:30 a.m. All of that information will be provided for you in your paperwork. Sir, can this court trust that you will appear on time for those court hearings?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to be clear with you. You're eligible for release, all right? And the court is going to release you with certain terms. I want to let you know that the state did submit a recommendation in this case, and they specifically recommended a bond, all right? This court is not going to impose that bond, all right? So no bond will be required of you. However, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. So you'll get a packet of information, read through it, make sure that you're in compliance with their requirements pending your court dates, all right? So, I see that you have a criminal history, but it's not extensive. It appears that you had gotten into trouble not too long ago, and then you have this. This is a felony allegation, and again, the state did recommend a fairly substantial bond. So this court is giving you, the chance of this release on pretrial supervision. Make sure that you stay out of trouble and you make your court dates. Other terms of your release include can't go back to the scene of the crime, all right, the alleged crime. No contact with the alleged victim, any witnesses, or the arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, and you are not to drive a motor vehicle without a valid license. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. That concludes your hearing. Everything is written down for you in your paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And then we have Misty Seraphin. And Deputy, why was Misty Seraphin not brought into the courtroom?
She was UT and was on.
Okay. Just for my own information, what does that stand for?
UT?
Yes.
Unable to function.
Oh, okay. Unable to function. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, very quickly, the court notes that Misty Seraphin is here on one matter. That matter is failure to appear arrest warrant out of the North Mesa Justice Court on a case involving one count of resisting arrest, Class 1 misdemeanor. She has an arraignment hearing on December 17th at 1 p.m. And an attorney will be appointed to address the bond issue only. Her release conditions include a $500 secured appearance bond, not to return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any victims, witnesses, or officers, and the remainder of her release conditions will be indicated on the written order. I will do this in-house. If I make any corrections to those release terms, let the record reflect that the written orders will reflect the court's final orders. With that, we will go off the record. Thank you. You may be seated. Good evening. This is the time set for the 11 p.m. initial appearance calendar on December 14th, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. I will call you each one at a time to the podium. I'll provide a second name to sit in the chair outside of this room. I will let you know what you are here for, if I've appointed an attorney, if you have a bond, and what your release conditions are.
I'm also going to go over the victim's rights advisement. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, you are advised that you have rights under Arizona law that, among others, include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, to a speedy trial, to be present at court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney, to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling and sentencing, and to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you loss. If you have not already been provided with a written statement of all victims' rights, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office. If we could start with Mr. Williams to the podium and Mr. Singley to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
Terrell Williams, 7/27/84.
Thank you, sir. It does look like you are here today on 3 cases. You are here on a new case. You're also here on a warrant for failing to appear at a hearing for an underlying charge of dangerous drugs, as well as a warrant from the University Lakes Justice Court. We'll go over each case. Your new charges are for 1 count of criminal damage, a Class 6 felony. In that case, probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. On the case that you failed to appear for a hearing for a dangerous drug charge, a warrant issued on July 1st, 2024, I am going to affirm the attorney previously appointed to represent you, and you're going to have some hearings coming up. This will apply to the failure to appear case as well as the new charges. It will include a status conference December 19th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. You have a third case here. That's the University Lakes Justice Court case. It's for a shoplifting charge and failing to appear at that hearing. I'm going to appoint an attorney, set a hearing in the University Lakes Justice Court December 17th at 8:30 in the morning. On the University Lakes Justice Court case, you do have a bond of $200. In the failure to appear case for the dangerous drugs, you have a bond of $250. However, on your third case, your new charges for the criminal damage, because you were out on felony release for that dangerous drug charge, you're not eligible for bond today on your new charges. So even if you were to post the bond on those other 2 cases, you wouldn't be released, because I'm going to set an evidentiary hearing December 22nd at 1:30 for these new charges. That's the time set to determine if bond will be set. So I don't recommend posting on the other cases until you have that hearing on December 22nd at 1:30, because you will be held in custody until that date when you find out if you're eligible for bond on these new charges. All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have a question?
Yes, I was going to say, even though I didn't have those, I never got the papers for that court date, because I ended up moving out toward 67th and Camelback and kind of got tied up over there and never even knew that I had papers sent out for my court date.
So you were in custody on that case in May of 2024, and you were given some hearing dates. It does look like you failed to appear. You failed to appear for a hearing. Your attorney actually filed a motion to quash that. Another hearing was set, and you failed to appear for that hearing as well. And because of that, the warrant issued. The bigger concern or issue you have today is because you have that case pending when you were picked up for a new felony, it's not within my discretion. I am required by law to hold you non-bondable. And so because of these new charges, you have to be held non-bondable. You're going to have at least one of the hearings on the failure to appear case before you have your evidentiary hearing. So you can talk to the judge about that, but I can't release you on your new charges, and the judge will determine if bond will be set on December 22nd in that case, okay?
Okay, you're saying new charges, it's just the criminal damage, right? Or
Yes, sir. Yep, your new charge for criminal damage. All right, just step to your left, the officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you.
Mr. Singley to the podium, Mr. Martinez to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Andrew Singley, March 10th, 1989.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case. It is for 1 count of aggravated assault involving a deadly weapon or a dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of disorderly conduct involving a weapon or instrument, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of threat, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a couple hearings coming up. You're going to have a status conference December 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $50,000. In the event you were to post bond and be released from custody, you'd have written conditions of release. Some of those things include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any victims, and you may not possess weapons or alcohol. All of this will be in your paperwork, sir. Did you have any questions?
So I'm confused. Am I being released or?
You would have to post a bond of $50,000 in order to be released from custody. If you don't post bond, you would remain in custody and they would transport you to those hearings.
I'm sorry. What if I have nobody that can like pay for the bond? Like I don't have nobody.
If you're not able to post the bond, then you'll remain in custody and you will be transported to those hearings. Anything further?
No, ma'am.
Please step to your left and the officer will get you that paperwork. Mr. Martinez to the podium and Mr. Charlie to the chair, please. May I get your name and date of birth?
Emmanuel Mejia Martinez, 11/25/2000.
Thank you, sir. You are here today because a direct complaint was filed. It has an offense date of April 15th, 2024 for 1 count of criminal trespass of a residential structure, a Class 6 felony. I'm appointing an attorney to represent you and setting a status conference December 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30. I am affirming the secured appearance bond of $3,600. In the event you were to post bond and be released from custody, you'd have written conditions. You may not return to the scene of the alleged crime, no contact with any victims, and you may not possess any weapons. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions, sir?
Yes, if I had a warrant, how come they never told me or anything? I've literally been on the address, and that's where they picked me up right there, close by my house right now.
It looks like they filed this back in July of 2024, and at the time of it being filed, the warrant issued. As to why it took over a year to pick you up on that warrant, unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that.
So I was just wondering, because I don't think I should have a bond, to be honest.
So it looks like the reason this was, bond was set, according to the notes by the judge who did set this bond, it indicates that you have 2 prior felony convictions, one which includes fleeing from the police and shooting a gun in the air, and you have prior histories of trespassing, which is the current offense in this case. So that is why this bond was set in the case at the time they issued this warrant. Once you meet with your attorney at that hearing on December 19th, if they feel like it's appropriate to make a motion to the court to change this, they may do so. But as of right now, that is what your bond is currently set at, okay?
So it's $3,600?
Yes, sir.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, just up to your left, officer. We'll get you that paperwork. Mr. Charlie to the podium. Mr. Lomas to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
There is Charlie, 04/30/05.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a failure to appear bench warrant that was issued for you for a pending aggravated assault charge. I am affirming the attorney previously appointed and setting a status conference December 19th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30. In this case, you do have a cash bond of $1,000.
Okay.
In the event you were to post bond and be released from custody, you'd have written conditions. You may not contact the victim, and you may not possess weapons. And then you'll also need to ensure that you attend all of your future hearings. If you were to fail to appear, another warrant would issue and you'd forfeit the bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Please take a step to your left, officer. We'll get you that
Thank you.
paperwork. Thank you, sir. Mr. Lomas to the podium, Ms. Hempel to the chair. May I get your name and date of birth?
Renee Lomas, April 2nd, 1970.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on new charges. It is for 1 count of dangerous drug, It is a direct complaint, I apologize. It is for 1 count of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. It does have an offense date of October 2nd, 2024. I'm going to appoint an attorney to represent you and set a status conference December 29th at 8:30 and a preliminary hearing December 31st at 8:30. I am going to release you today on your own recognizance. That is your promise to appear at those hearings. You do have written conditions of release. You may not possess weapons, and you may not possess drugs without a valid prescription. All of that will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Please take a step to your left. The officer will get you that paperwork.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hempel to the podium. Mr. Carrillo to the chair. Can I get your name and date of birth?
It's Susan Hempel in 21583.
Thank you, ma'am. You're here today on a new case. You are here for 1 count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, 1 count of assault, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and 1 count of vulnerable adult abuse, a Class 4 felony. Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you. You're going to have a status conference December 19th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30. You do have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $1,500. In the event you were to post bond and be released from custody, you would have written conditions of release. I do caution you to read them very carefully. You do have an alleged victim in this case, and you may not have uninvited contact with the alleged victim. So in this case, if the alleged victim consents to contact, you may do so, but if they do not, then you may not contact them. If you live with the alleged victim and they do not consent to contact, you do have to find an alternative residence, but you may contact law enforcement for 1 civil standby to collect any of your belongings. All of this will be in your paperwork, ma'am. Did you have any questions?
Can I ask who the victim is?
It is your father.
Okay, because my dad says that there's not anything on there. So I've already had a phone call with him today, and he was planning that I was going to be released, but I'm going to have to pay a bond, you're saying?
You would have to post a bond of $1,500 in order to be released from custody. If you're unable to do that, you would remain here and they would transport you to those hearings. And then again, it sounds like you've had contact with the alleged victim. That is okay if they're consenting, just not if they're not consenting, then you would have to cease any contact.
Okay, so he is adamant that this didn't happen either, that he was the one that, because I didn't even know what I was getting charged for. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is, but now we have to come up with $1,500.
So the allegations include that you physically, I believe, punched him. I have to go back through this. Those are what the allegations are. You're not being
I understand that I'm
convicted
not.
of any
I'm not.
of these things.
Yeah, I understand what happened. I understand with the police, but I also know that I didn't know what had happened. I was in my room. They're saying this is something that happened like before. It didn't even happen today. This is like they just pulled me out of my room because my mom was saying I was suicidal, which I wasn't. So my dad is not at all a victim on this. I understand that this isn't the time to do that, but I do know that he's going to have a hard time coming up with that money right now, and that's going to be something. Is there someone he can talk to? Because I just barely got off the phone with him, and he was adamant that charges that did not have that happen.
So I understand that he may not be asking the state to move forward with these charges. I can't resolve that for you tonight.
Yeah.
You don't have your defense attorney. The state is not here right now. Your next hearing where both of them will be is on December 19th.
So I'd have to be here until the 19th.
If bond isn't posted. But if you do post bond and you're released, you still need to make sure you go to that hearing, because if you miss the hearing, a warrant would issue and then you would forfeit the bond you posted. So either way, I need you to make sure you go to that hearing.
Is the bond, is it $1,500 like cash, or I have?
It is secured, meaning you can use a bail bonding company, which is typically 10% plus collateral.
Okay.
Okay, and they'll give you instructions in the next step on how to get that taken care of, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on the line?
Hello, this is Lucia. Will be your interpreter. ID number 2528.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I have Mr. Carrillo to the podium, please?
¿Puede venir el señor Carrillo al podio, por favor?
Good evening, sir. May I please get your name and date of birth?
No English.
Buenas
No,
tardes,
dime.
señor. ¿Me puede, por favor, dar su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento?
Gonzalo Díaz Carrillo, del 89, del día 1 de mayo.
Excuse interpreter, let me ask you to repeat the name. Señor, repítame el nombre, por favor. Claro.
Gonzalo Díaz Carrillo.
Gonzalo Díaz Carrillo, May the 1st, 1989.
Thank you, sir. You are here today on a new case.
Gracias, señor. Está aquí hoy por un nuevo caso.
For one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony.
Por un cargo por posesión de drogas narcóticas, un tipo de delito clase 4.
One count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, a Class 4 felony.
Un cargo por posesión o uso de un arma en una ofensa incluyendo drogas, un tipo de delito clase 4.
One count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony.
Un cargo por posesión de parafernalia para uso de drogas, un tipo de delito clase 6.
And one count of discharging a firearm in city limits, a Class 6 felony.
Y otro cargo por disparar un arma de fuego en los límites de la ciudad, un delito clase 6.
Probable cause has been found, and I am appointing an attorney to represent you.
Sea encontrable un motivo aparente y se le va a dar un abogado para que lo represente.
You will have a hearing on December 19th and December 23rd at 8:30 in the morning.
Va a tener una audiencia el 19 de diciembre y el 23 de diciembre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured appearance bond of $75,000.
Tiene usted una fianza de comparecencia de $75,000.
In the event you post bond and are released from custody, you have written conditions of release.
En el caso de que usted pague la fianza y se lo libere de la custodia, usted tiene condiciones escritas de liberación.
You may not return to the scene of the crime.
No puede volver al lugar donde ocurrió el delito.
You may not contact any victims or witnesses.
No puede contactar ninguna de las víctimas o ninguno de los testigos.
And you may not possess any weapons.
Y no puede poseer armas.
All of this will be in your paperwork. Did you have any questions?
Todo esto va a estar en sus papeles. ¿Tiene preguntas?
No, todo bien.
No, it's okay.
Can you please take a seat in the gallery? We do need to reprint your paperwork and we will bring that out to you.
Siéntese, por favor, en la galería. Vamos a reimprimir los papeles y se lo vamos a dar.
A ver.
And that does conclude all of our Spanish matters this evening. I do appreciate your assistance, ma'am. Feel free to disconnect at your convenience.
Thank you for calling Lionbridge, interpreter 2528, disconnecting. Have any?
The three remaining cases will proceed as house calls due to being unable to function or due to being combative. Case number 12, Kyle Newman, date of birth September 24th, 1999, is here on a new case for one count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, one count of disorderly conduct involving a weapon, a Class 6 felony, one count of discharging a firearm in city limits, a Class 6 felony, 5 counts of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor, one count of criminal damage, a Class 1 misdemeanor, and one count of preventing or interfering with the use of a telephone in an emergency, a Class 2 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found, and I'm appointing an attorney to represent him. He will have a status conference December 19th at 8:30, a preliminary hearing December 23rd at 8:30. He will have a secured appearance bond in the amount of $100,000. In the event bond is posted, he will be released to the supervision of pretrial services. He will have alcohol, drug testing, and monitoring, and he will be equipped with electronic monitoring. He will also have written conditions of release. He may not return to the scene of the alleged crime. No contact with any alleged victim, complainant, or witness. He may not possess weapons, and he may not possess or consume any alcohol. Case number 9, Dulce Signs, date of birth September 24th, 1999, is here on a warrant from the Peoria Municipal Court. This is for one count of disorderly conduct. It is a pre-adjudication warrant issued July 18th, 2024. I am appointing an attorney and setting an arraignment hearing in Peoria Municipal Court on December 16th at 9 a.m. And I'm setting a secured appearance bond in the amount of $250. In the event bond is posted and she is released from custody, she has written conditions. She may not possess drugs without a valid prescription, and she may not drive a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Case number 11, David Howard, date of birth February 20th, 1958, is here on a new case for one count of disorderly conduct, a Class 1 misdemeanor. Probable cause has been found. However, due to the nature of his charges, he is not entitled to court-appointed counsel. He's going to have an arraignment hearing in the Gila Bend Municipal Court on December 30th at 9 a.m. I am releasing him today on his own recognizance. That is his promise to appear at that hearing. He does have written conditions. He does have an alleged victim, so I do caution that he read this very carefully, as he may not have any uninvited contact with the alleged victim. If the alleged victim consents, he may do so. If the alleged victim does not, then he may not have contact, and he must find an alternative residence. All of this will be in the party's paperwork. If anything changes after I meet with him, I will update the written record. This does conclude our 11 p.m. calendar, and we will now stand in recess until 2 a.m.